Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Mama AMIRUL bin ANUAR and I'm currently taking Bachelor Business Administration Hons Investment Management in UiTM Johor. So this video is dedicated to Madam Nur Hasniza. The topic is asset and fund management during the pandemic. So let's go through and find out what we have to choose. So in this part, asset management is when a financial service company, generally an investment bank or an individual manages all or part of a client portfolio. In this institution provide an investing service as well as a variety of a standard and innovative product offering that the typical investor may not have access to. The management is of a financial institution cash flow is also known as a fund management. So the fund manager will make sure that the deposit maturity schedule match for the demand that to do loan. To do so, the management examine the obligation as well as the asset that affect the bank capacity to extend the credit. Then the COVID-19 pandemic has pulled out the world into the uncharted water. Amidst the uncertainties, asset and fund management industry players need to resist their top priorities. This is because to not only overcome the challenge posed by this crisis, but also to address the industry concern about the new post-COVID-19 world. So as we all know and we can see, this pandemic could be the slow growth and the water thin margin have been key concern so far, but now there are biggest issue which fund manager need to consider by lead the COVID-19 crisis. For instance, increase in liquidity crunch, large fund outflow, besides a potential global recession. In this phase of weakening global economy, so we can see that the asset management sector has been benefited greatly from the lower for longer interest rate environment. So stabilize, which is in this stabilize, we will make sure that we need to navigating this crisis. This is because they capitalize on increased system traffic due to the high trading volume and increased share lending. This is because we need to introduce a short-term cost cutting measure, which is we need to adapt them to the long term eventually. And we need to enhance the business continually management. Reduce the risk exposure as a one of the way to navigating this crisis. Intensify push toward the end-to-end digital integration. And then we must make sure that impactful communication across all of stakeholders. And that's including the sales network. We need to continue addressing their needs. And then we need to communicate for value proposition that to the network and investor. We need to make sure that the enhanced focus on the more risk-averse product. Strategize, which is emerging stronger than before. In this part, this is the way that the strategy we need to fulfill properly. First of all, we need to optimize footprint. This is because we need to redesign the operating model across the supply management, and then capabilities zero basing of leverage of IT, and then we need to aim the long-term cost cutting. Look out for possible acquisition target and joint venture opportunities to extend the value of chain. Consider a strategic portfolio shift toward a more crisis-resistant investment, and then we need to strengthen our credibility and value for the network, especially as captive. Last but not least, we need to follow to enhance the value of chain by integrating sub-scale process with the increased focus on the cost. Under the asset management, the AUM dropped by approximately another 5% in February 2020. But this was largely due to the decline in the stock market, which affected by the equity and fixed income fund. In the week leading to the movement control order, which is MCO in Malaysia, there was higher net redemption in the Malaysia money market and a fixed income fund. However, some of this redemption involves switching activities into the equity part as the undervaluation of the stock market became attractively to the investor. So first, which is seeking alpha and higher yield. So with BNM, which is Bank Negara Malaysia, BNM has been cutting the overnight policy rate, which is OPR, to 2% and bringing the rate to the lowest in the 10 years. This will be a shift of wealth into the unit trust fund for investor hunt the higher yield. At the same time, BNM, which is Bank Negara Malaysia, reported that the hunt for higher yield has resulted in a slow growth for the household deposit with the financial institution. And then for the digital innovation, COVID-19 has accelerated digital adoption by the people from the all walks of life. The Securities Commission, which is SC, reported that the activation of online trading account exceeded 10,000 in the month of March 2020. The behavioral shift will be welcomed by 5 new approved digital investment management, which is DIM, play in 2019. This is because in just 2 years, the DIM have recorded of a total 74 million from over 20,000 accounts, and there are definitely room for the further growth in the new normal. And last but not least, the boost from Employee Provident Fund, which is EPF. As we all know, the EPF announced the fee reduction for the EPF member investment scheme. With this revision in the fee structure, the upfront fee will be reduced while no upfront fees will be imposed for the investment transacted through the iInvest via EPFI account. The lower fee would make it more attractive to invest in the unit trust.